I feel very blessed. I'm very fortunate. If you look at my family, I mean, they're all doing extremely well. Um, I'm at that stage in the life where I've got all my kids are married. My last my last child got married last August, and it was fantastic. So I've got a couple of grandkids, but all of them have went through this extremely well. Many of them, um, you know, with the grandkids, the ones up in Fresno, that makes it a little more difficult, but it still didn't stop my wife from driving up there. So and I got up there at least once, and then they even came on down, and we were very fortunate that we were working with Quest and other companies for the testing. So we were always testing and making sure that we could get together and have quality time. But again, these type of conversations, we do FaceTime all the time with the grandkids and the kids, and just to keep in touch with each other. But I look at this, and I always look at every situation as an opportunity, and there's reasons for everything, and there's a reason for this, and truly believe that the uniting of the families and the good pieces that came along, getting to know people even better, and being able in the work environment to work with individuals under this type of stress and situation was very rewarding to me, to not only get a better sense and a feel of how they work under different circumstances and different situations, but at the same time, really getting to know them better, because we slowed everything down a little bit. We kind of evaluated things a little differently. But for me personally, I think it was a great growth, and a great ability to put into play a lot of the practices that we do all the time, but we just accelerated it. So it was good. I mean, no one wants to see our world or globe go through what we've been going through, but at the same time, you got to take in and look at the opportunities that come along with it. So, tough deal. Number one goes out to our customer, and without our customer, they're the direct reflection to our success. So, we saw the impact. We started in Wuhan, China. We've got a plant there. We saw it all starting to occur, and actually, I was over visiting with many of my executive team members in early November, and we were with many of the government officials and opening up a new site there and all of that. And with that, there was nothing there. Certainly, we came back, and then all of a sudden we started to get notes, and it was more or less not emails or texts, but it was letters. The state, we got a situation. So we were really early on the forefront of this before really it really started to really become an issue. But knowingly, we were hearing that the travel was being shut down. There was something that was happening, and so immediately our teams over there reacted alongside what the government officials were asking to do. And so the face masks, the temperature checks, and all the right things we put in place in our plants, and we were fortunate from there that we didn't have any COVID cases over in China whatsoever. And then all of a sudden here it hits in the U.S., and we had our ties, our relationships that were enabling us to be able to prepare and ramp up quickly. And so what we did was, when it really started to intensify in February and start to really build momentum, I would meet, daily for 2 to 3 hours with the executive team. We did this 14 days straight, and just working through and watching and observing and talking about our strategies, and really thinking about it very carefully. And then at that point, once we knew we had a plan, we knew where we needed to go, we started to execute it. And really what it is, to do that, we assigned different responsibilities, different individuals to establish different teams to really dig into it. So we had the crisis management team. We had another team was on strictly face mask and temperature checks to protect our people and our associates. We had a team that really looked at the stimulus activity and what was going on out there and how the government was going to step up and support. And then now we've got a recovery team that's out there that's really about how do we make a difference? How do we separate ourselves from everybody else as we work through this? But, it's about organizing. We go through strategic work all the time in this company. And since I've been a part of it in '98, we've had 7 strategic plans that work either on a 3-year, 4-year, or 5-year cycle. So, and it's a bottom up. So it works throughout the whole company. We include everybody. And so we're used to going through the strategy process and then putting it together with a structure of people that meet the strategy. And then we wrap it with the culture that we represent through our creed and our values of our company. So this became just an accelerated version of what we normally, or that we practice all the time. But the big piece that came out that we found that separated us from others out there is the strong culture within the company. Being a truly purpose-driven company, we share everything that we do. We're very open with our creed, our values, what we represent and stand for. Our people, we're very flexible. They work with us, being very fluid to do what we needed to do. We had people volunteering for furloughs because they were concerned for their families, because they had healthcare workers. We certainly did a lot of communicating with our folks. I mean, I do partner calls, which we've got 150 individuals within the company that have a piece of the action within Golden State Foods. And we just continue to communicate and keep everybody cool, calm, and took care of our people and put them in a very, very safe environment. Knowingly, we're an essential category. We had to continue to operate and run to support and to make a difference out there. So, when I look at it and look back at what we've experienced as a group, and the biggest takeaways was the flexibility of our people, the quality of folks that we have are just outstanding. And the reason we got the quality of folks we do because of the philosophy of our company with our creed and what we stand for as an organization, at the same time with the strong values and how we take care of our customers, how we take care of our associates. And we're just an extended family of each other. So it was good to see it in an accelerated fashion versus a drawn out fashion. But everybody worked very well together. I think the first line of the creed, we believe in God, the dignity of people. Certainly, my beliefs may be different than other beliefs within in our company. It's the vast majority of us truly believe in God. We believe in what we represent and our faith. But we've got a broad line of faith from, we carry into the Muslim side all the way through. And I can go back to the days where I had a conversation with Jeff Immelt when he stepped in into GE. And he and I were sitting down and having a conversation. He shared his values and his philosophy, and I shared mine. And he said, well, how can you do this? And we could never do it in GE. And I said, well, why couldn't you? He goes, well, we're global. And I said, so are we. And I said, the significance is someone believing in someone greater than yourself, and and it's not necessarily, does it have to tie to a specific religion, but it has to tie that you got to be a believer, and believing that this world was put together for a reason, and that my philosophy and my beliefs are more focused in maybe a little differently than what yours are, Jeff. But the fact of the matter is, you can't believe that there's a reason for everything again, and that the fact of the matter is this world was put together for a purpose, and all of us need to work together, and we strongly believe that the philosophy of what we stand for as an organization is a separation point, and it really helped us. So, I don't go out, and, bill and sit there and say we are a Christian-based organization, because we're not. He was going to be a Presbyterian minister, so he went to seminary, he did the whole deal. And he got called. My father, when he wrote the, instead of finishing up his work, he ended up taking his philosophies and beliefs into his small family business at that time, and built it up into a very large business. And when he became the CEO of the business, that's where he put into the creed. And certainly the gifts that he gave me are just phenomenal. From an individual with integrity, but at the same time, how to run a Fortune 100 company and all that type of stuff. But the biggest piece, the separator that he gave me, and the greatest gift he ever left me and my brother and my sister, was the creed. And that creed, we've reshaped it, reformed it in many ways, but that first line has pretty well stayed the same in the second line. And even when you go through it, there's subtle changes, and the change in that creed would be that originally it was, we believe in God and the dignity of man, and that's the way it was originally written. And we referred it over to people trying to fall into the changes of times. And when you get deeper in the creed, it talked about our country, we talk about nations, so because of a global business. So every one of them have been modified and changed, but the strong belief in God, and we're not saying what God it is, and I have my strong belief in God, but even in the Muslim faith, they buy it, they believe in it, they certainly feel that it is a very big advantage to them. Now, China, a little different situation over there, and you got to be careful. And so we're very cautious with it, but it's there. But you can't. What would I say? Push it and talk about it as much as we do the values over there, and treating people the way you want to be treated, make the best product. Everything that associates with the values that we do. The creed, though, is there, and the government officials have pretty well left it alone. And even though they are 100% against that type of promotions in companies, but we're just very careful with it. But we look at that creed, we look at the values as the separator. It's what brings in the folks. And when they read and go online, as the young guys and girls do today, coming into out of schools, they'll study companies, and a lot of questions are asked around the philosophy of an organization, and then it gets deeper than that. They'll, through the interview process, the questions that are come out, and we can determine real quickly if they're going to be a good fit or not. And it does separate folks out, which is fine with us. Because we've got to have the folks that are true believers. Because if you can't believe in someone greater than yourself, then it's very difficult to believe in the strategies and the structures and the direction that we have to take as an organization. So, long approach on this thing, Bill, but it's really, it has, when you look back at it, and if I look back for the last 3 months, it has been powerful. It has been powerful to see how our people and the willingness to do things above and beyond and help those that are less fortunate. And one of the big pieces that surrounded all is our foundation that we put in place in '03, and it's very unique. We've got 25 different committees with chapters around the United States, and it's 100% employee run, and we've got 80% of our associates to give financially into it. When you look at believing in and giving of time, because some people just can't, it's in the 90+% range. So it speaks highly of what the values, the philosophy, the culture of the company stands for when you have that type of commitment from our associates. So very interesting. As a young guy, when I was younger, my greatest strength was my greatest weakness, and it's patience. And making sure timelines and thinking it through. But I was really a let's roll, let's go, let's make decisions quickly. Um, and it's really been able to lean towards maybe my strength or weakness, whatever it may have been, to be consistently be patient. And I listen to everybody. I mean, we work as a very strong participative management style, and I expect folks to not necessarily come to me with their problems and don't hand the ball to me. I expect them to come to me with explaining that we have a situation, an opportunity, and here's how we're going to work through it. And it's an enabler of this time frame, because the acceleration was to watch everything get accelerated in here, and we've been able to really evaluate some of the decision-making processes, and it's allowed me to kind of step back and really empower these folks, because we didn't have time. And so at the same time, I had the patience to listen, to absorb everything, and then at the same time to assign, but then allow these folks to do what they needed to do to get the job done. But we just saw it all accelerated. So I think the biggest single takeaway from it all is that because of the culture, because of what we've developed over the last 20 plus years, since I've been fortunate to be a part of the company, it's really about truly believing in people and truly seeing how much our folks really care about those that are less fortunate, and how much they truly care about our customers. And it really reinforced what I thought was there, and I just got to see it firsthand.